coming up on today's episode.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra.
Hi, good morning, YouTube. Here with you on this Friday morning, July the 25th. I feel much better today. Yesterday was a bummer for me. And this video is basically just a flapping video. I know some of you like them, some of you don't. I don't matter to me a lot. I feel the need sometimes to get some things off my chest, and I do that. And if you want to watch it, watch it. And if you don't, that's fine too. But I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I offered to assist my son-in-law, Randy, with a project that he was working on for my great-granddaughter, Lainey. Her grandmother, my daughter, had bought her a new bed, and I will flash up a picture of that, as they say. I guess she wanted it. I don't know, but supposedly this was a Christmas gift, and I don't know. But anyway, it got pushed off, and you know, as things like that happen. Here it is, because Randy said, "Well, what is this, Christmas in July?" But anyway, you can see by the picture, I think this thing quite a monstrosity, and I was a little beginning to question the actual fitment to her room. She has a small room. Obviously, it's big enough for this because we got it done. But the problem was, if you looked at the reviews from the Amazon page, a lot of people complained a lot about the assembly of this, and I think the biggest problem was the complexity of it. I mean, the overall, in other words, it took a long time to put together because of the complexity of what it was. I mean, you can't just throw something up like this in 5 minutes and say, hey, there it is. I mean, they have to ship it in pieces. Obviously, it came from China, so we was dealing with a little bit of Chinglish. Not bad. The instructions were not bad at all, really. Having, you know, seen all the comments about the instructions, I tried my best to find the online instructions for it, but I couldn't find it, so I was going in cold turkey to the thing. My job was basically to read and define the instructions and instruct Randy in putting how to put them together. That worked out for a while. There were some of them that were just kind of, you had to look at it to know how it went together. And so it got to be where we just passed them off back and forth, and I was helping him with the assembly more or less. There was a lot of times I could sit my chair, I was sitting in a chair and sit it under the bed or in the bed or whatever, you know, and make use of my own hands to put screws in and things like that. But anyway, I got there about 8:15 in the morning, and Randy arrived shortly after that, and so we started in pretty quickly. And I think it was, by the time I actually got home, it was getting close to 6 o'clock. Now there was some other things that went on. It wasn't all the bed, but like I said, it was a long day, and it wiped me out. And even though I didn't do actually a lot of physical work, it was one of those days where, you know, it was hot outside. Of course, she has AC in the house, but like I said, it's just, I don't know, it was just, it took it out of me. And I had a restful night last night, so I'm thankful for that. Because a lot of times I get too tired, and you can't sleep then. So, but anyway, I'm not complaining. I actually enjoyed helping with the projects because when I can, and so now that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I was thinking the other day about doing a video like this because there's so many times, and this happens to all people who put, I don't care who you are, but all people who put videos up on YouTube. If you enjoy doing that, which I do, and I think a lot of other people do as well. Now, some people do it for the money. I understand that. And there are times when you, if that's your only job, now Pudding's Fab Shop is a good example. That's his only income. And so as such, and when I say his only income, he has merch sales, which is a part of it, and he has Patreon members, things like that. But, you know, it's when it's a have to, it is a job, and that's my, idea of a job. When you have to do it, it becomes a job. Now, I don't have to do it, obviously, but I enjoy doing it. And, as such, there are times when I enjoy doing it, but I don't feel like doing a lot to do it. And such a thing is what I call phoning it in. And as you see the little AI overview here, phoning it in is an idiom. And I really didn't know what an idiom was, but that's what it is. Basically, you do something with minimal effort and enthusiasm, often resulting in lackluster performance. Now, Puddin' is what made me think of that, because there's a lot of time he phones it in. And I understand that. Again, like I said, he's got things going on in his life, and he has, kids, he's, wife and stuff, And I think his grandmother recently passed. That's been kind of rough on him. And, it's just, I understand. Life happens. And, even, when you do have a regular job, there's days that you don't want to go in. And I know that from working for all my life. And I'm thankful I'm retired now. But like I said, and, there's a lot of times that this happens. And, I generally, when it happens, you can tell pretty much right away that it's happening. And sometimes I'll watch it, but sometimes I'll just put it off for later on when I don't have anything to do, because it's not something I really want to see, because you can just tell right away that it's not going to be a great video. And so, and I'm sure he recognizes that. I know he does. He's very bright about stuff like that, which is good. But and a lot of people, like I said, everybody that does YouTube videos at some time or another have videos they put up. They're not their best videos, and they know that. And anybody that doesn't know it, well, you shouldn't be posting videos. So, but anyway, that's my term of the day, I guess, phoning it in. And I always tell Bob when people do that, we were talking about it, and I said, yeah, he phoned it in. But so that's that. Now, it was just kind of not a concern, but something I wanted to get off my chest, because I think a lot of people don't realize that it's happening sometimes, and that's what it is. It's just there's days you don't feel like doing it, and I'm sorry, everybody's that way. I mean, we're all human. But and I also apologize for the noise of the printer going in the background. That is the Bamboo Lab P1P printing some parts for my Elegoo Centauri carbon printer. And the reason I'm doing it on that one is because it has PETG, or PETG as they say, loaded onto the spool. And I wanted to print this in that particular material because of the heat involved. So anyway, that's what it's doing. I could have obviously loaded PETG on the Centauri, but and also I think of things as I'm doing this. You may hear me refer to that as the Elegoo CC, Centauri Carbon. But that's a lot of people are doing that abbreviation now. So anyway, like I said, I could have loaded it on there and done it. The printer works fine. I'm going to make a video on that. I promise you. Life has gotten in my way, and like I said, it's just been, we've got orders to fulfill on our business. I had that commitment I had to do yesterday on the bed, and so and at the same time I had a new head unit to install. So things work out that way sometimes, and if you were waiting on something to see something, I'm sorry, but it will get posted eventually. And you know, for those who really care about it, I still have another part of that driving video. And in fact, while I was at it, I thought, you know, I would like to make a video of the one going down to Columbia, Kentucky, because that one actually is more interesting than the other one. But again, you know, it just takes some planning to do that. And I was online doing that on Google, not Google Earth, what's the Street View on Google, to find out what parts of the road are missing and parts. Now, thankfully, most of the road is there. There are some parts down below Lexington where they have changed the highway US 27 a lot, but the nice thing about it is they left part of the best part of it in, and you can still drive down that road and see the sites there, and we're going to do that when I do that. So I'm not going to say too much more about it because I'll give it all away, but like I said, that will happen eventually, and that will be I don't know how many parts, but that's a 4.5-hour drive one way. So you can imagine I can't very well post one video and get that done. So anywho, that's that. Now, as I was saying about other stuff, things happen. You know, I've got the radio in, or the head unit in my car. That's my pill alarm going off, if you heard that noise. But I'm still working out a couple of bugs on it. For one thing, it defaults to Android Auto, which I don't want. I don't mind having Android Auto. In fact, I think I would use it sometimes. But I don't want it to come up as the default when you turn on the car. And that's what's happening. And I've already tried one trick, and that was disabling on the phone where it doesn't connect automatically. And that didn't work because I just went to the post office to drop off a BDEK package, and it came right up just like it always did. But so I've got to get in on that and find some more hacks to fix that, because perfectly the head unit itself, when it comes up, if Android Auto had never been introduced to the unit, it would have been perfect, because it comes up to a home screen that's got my music player on it, and I think you saw that in the last video I made, and it also has maps there at the side. So you know, it is perfect that way. I like it that way. But as such, as I went ahead and installed Android Auto on my phone, and then I think I probably could turn Bluetooth off, and if I did that, I don't think it would, obviously couldn't connect then. So there's several ways of handling it, and I'm going to get to it. But like I said, that's going to be another video, because I want to do it in the evening. For one thing, it's a little cooler in the evening. It has been monstrously hot the last couple of days here, and as such, I don't really want to go out there. And plus, the screen is much easier to see at when the sun is not out. Well, it can be out, but it's not prominent, I should say. So anyway, that's coming up, and again, the video on the Elegoo CC will be coming up. That's I had a problem with it, and I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. But right now, I'll leave it for the video. But I thought it was going to be a real problem, but it turned out not to be a big problem. So anywho. I think it was more or less a shipping type of problem created by the shipping, or the shaking, or the jarring of the shipping, I think is what it was. But anyway, like I said, that's coming up. So you can see I've got a lot on my plate, and today what I'm going to do is to play my game. That's why I'm doing this I'm phoning it in today, folks. That's what I'm doing on this video. And like I said, I'm going to spend the day resting and playing my game, and I'll do a little printing. Right now you can hear the printer is printing, like I said, and so me and Bob are doing that, and Bob has got his own little world of consequences there going on. When he moved to his current location, he had friends help him move, and as such, they asked him if they could store some of their stuff there. And of course, he agreed to it because they were helping him, obviously. And of course, they're his friends, you know what I mean. You want to help out your friends. But anyway, as long as that has been, they pretty much haven't gotten anything out, and here lately they've been actively doing it, and he's down to pretty much the stuff left in his refrigerator now. So, so he's got a whole new set of space to deal with, I guess, and so he's working on that. And we still text pretty regular, but like I said, I understand he's doing things. He knows I'm doing things. So, like I said, we've been doing that, and so that's going on as well. So, again, I just wanted to kind of make this video to let you know what's going on here. If you're missing me, I can't help it. I'm sorry. But like I said, I just thought I would put this up there, and you guys can see what's happening, and know that I'm present and accounted for. But so, like I said, you guys have a great day, and thank you so much for watching, and we will see ya.